Representing the 25 to 27 foot class in the center console category, the Sea Chaser 26LX has an overall length of 25 feet 11 inches, a beam of 8 feet 7 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 350. Built to accommodate any style of fishing, inshore or offshore, she has a draft of 12 to 14 inches, a dead rise of 17 degrees, a dry weight of 3,432 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 84 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts, Dave East and Rick Riles.
Okay, this is the Sea Chaser 26LS, and to call this boat a bay boat really isn't right because it's 26 foot. Yes, it's smaller than a normal 26 foot center console that would normally go offshore, but it's not so small where you would call it a bay boat. This kind of fills that niche in between going from a bay boat to an offshore boat, or maybe stepping down from an offshore boat to a bay boat. Carolina Skiff typically is known for boats that, a guy can custom build himself or design himself. In this boat, you don't have to. What you're looking at here is pretty much a standard boat. Even the pedestal seats. I know you give me a hard time about these coming from the bass world, but if you're gonna be on the water all day long, this is a comfortable place to fish.
Well, you must feel out of place on this boat because this boat is clearly designed for guys that really know how to fish, because you can tell the way it's laid out and where everything is in the place where it's most accessible for a fisherman. This is far from just a forward casting deck. Step off of it. Let me show you some of the things that make it special. Let me show you what I mean. First off, and you taught this to me, your rod lockers, and they've all got rod lockers along here, but your rod lockers need to open lengthwise. That way, when you're on the trailer, you can reach in and grab a rod.
Well, not only that too, if you've got a 6.5 foot rod, it's so much easier to get it in. You're not fighting that hatch if it opens to the outside or to the inside. This just makes so much sense. But we talked earlier about this boat being really more for offshore than for bay. Look how high the gunnels are. That's more toward an offshore boat. You're in the boat. You're offshore, it gets a little rough, you're getting knocked around. You're gonna feel much more secure in this boat than if you had a real low gunnel.
Right, and should you be in rough seas, you need to get a live bait or whatever. What a perfect place for a handrail to brace yourself while you're going up there. It's just so many little things that make the boat more comfortable.
Well, live bait, okay? Up here in the bow, you've got a choice. You have 2 live bait wells. You have one built in the front deck of the boat. You have another under the front seat of the console. Okay, let's move back now. Let's get behind the console.
Step into the command center, my boy. This is where the guts of a boat are. This is where you're gonna drive from. This has to be comfortable.
Well, they put a footrest down here, so it actually is. The seat, you know what? It's not really a leaner, it's not really a seat, it's kind of a combination, but it's comfortable. You can drive the boat from standing, you can drive the boat from the seated position. They do have a little door on the side. There is a potty under here. I mean, it's kind of small, the console is, but you know what? If you've gotta go, you gotta go, and they've made provisions for it. Well, they went with a powder-coated T-top, which is a nice touch. It's sturdy, it's strong, it's very well built, and a molded fiberglass hardtop. That way you don't have to replace your canvas every few years. They've got speakers built in, they got LED lights, you have another radio box right here. Plenty of room for all of your electronics.
All right, we're far from finished. Let me show you this back area.
The nice thing about having 26 feet to work with, look at the size rear casting platform you can put in this boat and still have plenty of cockpit room.
You got a flip-up seat here. This is a flip-up seat, but it's also access to everything you work on. You've got total access over here. You've got another live well back here. Talk about maximizing space.
Well, you have another seat back here because if you're going to be fishing, I mean, you could take this boat into freshwater. Yeah, it's a little bit large, but you could. But even if you're going to be in saltwater, working a mangrove shoreline, even if you're offshore and you're live baiting, these are 2 comfortable places to sit. One guy in the front, one guy in the back. I like the little swim platform on the back. It's got a ladder that you can reach when you're in the water. If you're snorkeling, if you're diving, you can just reach up and flip it in. But from a safety standpoint, if you're in the wintertime, maybe you got a heavy jacket on, you're fully clothed, you happen to fall over.
Ooh.
If you can't reach that ladder, you may as well not even
You're
have
in a
one.
world of hurt, right.
For maintenance, like you had said earlier, you're not gonna beat that. Maximum access to all your systems, and you still got room for storage.
Here you go again, out of sight, out of mind, okay?
Right.
If you don't raise that hatch after every trip and squirt your pumps off and such, you pay for it in the long run.
The last thing I want to talk about too on this boat is the hull. It's a step. Less wetted surface, the engine doesn't have to work as hard, better fuel efficiency, the boat's going to be a little more loose on the water. So steps have their place. I mean, they're not for every boat, but on this particular boat it works. Someone's in the market for not really a bay boat, but they really don't want to make that commitment into a large 26-foot offshore center console boat. This boat is going to be much more agile.
This is a boat that you can have fun with that you are not totally committed to every weekend.
Well, don't let the name Carolina Skiff fool you. This Sea Chaser You only have to make one decision because it comes standard with everything you need to go have a good day out on the water, whether it's on the outside of the inlet or on the inside.